Some laptop.
Yeah. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana-shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhaktavrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Thank you all Matajis for joining. So I don't know how many of you were present for the last session on Sharanagati we did. So chanting in Sharanagati, and we didn't do the practical application. So I thought we'll do that and then move on to chanting with Sankalpa. So just a little, quick recap because we don't have time for the next one. So, so Maharaj, so this from the book for those that are new. So these sessions I'm taking completely from the book called The Living Name. So this is written by His Holiness Satchidanand Swami, and a beautiful book, that really touched our hearts in the Japa session, and we thought we should share it with all. So we've discussed various ways of chanting, chanting in yojana, which is, how to sit and how to breathe and how to align yourself, your mind and heart, we read. Then we read chanting in Sambandha, so understanding, what is our Sambandha with the Lord. Then we did chanting in Seva, how, Japa and Kirtan is actually a Seva to the holy name, and so to Krishna as well. And then we did Vipralamba. So how, because we are separated from the Lord, we have to keep reminding that, we are out here in the material world, very, very far from our original spiritual place, and that separation we should feel. And then knowing all this, how we surrender and chant. So that was a Sharanagati. So we should understand that Bhakti or even japa is a gift from Krishna. So we cannot attain it ourselves. Even Nama, they say, we can utter the syllables, but it's completely up to Krishna and his mercy to descend in those names. So what we are doing with our material tongue is just uttering the syllables Hare Krishna, and it is completely up to the Lord to descend in this name that we are uttering. And so what do we have to do? We have to, somehow invoke his mercy to descend into, onto our tongue. So what do? We have to do something that, will move Krishna. So we have to take shelter of Krishna, and that is what is surrender they're talking about. Because without that, without the mercy of Krishna and without the mercy of his devotees, Vaishnavas, then we don't have any bhakti. Actually, the whole process of bhakti that, we've come to this Krishna consciousness, we think some due to some luck or, some previous sukriti, none of that actually. It is purely by mercy of a Vaishnava that today, we are able to chant and we are able to be in this bhakti process. So then we talked about, the 6 limbs of Sharanagati, the 6-fold ways of Sharanagati, how we should do it. And then we looked at, few quotations from Srila Prabhupada, and then we discussed the example of, Draupadi, how she takes shelter of the Lord in that during the Draupadi Vasraparanam. So when she completely understands that, nobody else can, come to her rescue, only Krishna can, and only when she, lifts her hands up, giving up on everybody in that sabha, then, the Lord comes. So that's how we should feel. We should feel like, there's no one except, Krishna for us to take shelter of. And then, so about chanting with surrender, we discussed those that are aspiring for Krishna Prema and those that have attained Krishna Prema, both, so those have attained Krishna Prema, they chant with a natural surrender. I mean, they've already surrendered. And then those who are aspiring should understand, like Draupadi did, that there's nothing else, no one else, and only Krishna is our hope. And then we surrender. And then we looked at some, nice, beautiful bhajans that are in the mode of Sharanagati. So the first step in surrender, we said, was humility. So without that humility, we cannot surrender. So humility is our gateway for surrender. So Trinada Pisunichana Taror Apisaishna Amanina Manadena Kirtanya Sadahari. And then when one of his friends, Srila Prabhupada's friends, asked Srila Prabhupada that, you have a tonic for Krishna Prema, can you give it to me? So Srila Prabhupada said, I don't have the tonic yet, but I have the formula, and that formula is Trinada Pisunichena. So that is the first step to humility and surrender we discussed. So the way of going up means going up to the Lord is actually bending down, like just like you have a gate and there's a big gate and there's a small door, like sometimes you see in the jail and all. So to enter such a building, what do you have to do? You have to bend down to go up. So like that, sadhakas, we have to bend down in humility, so to as to elevate ourselves. So the way up is by bending down. So in this material world, if we lament for something, it actually pulls us down. But lamentation for spiritual things, like lamenting for Krishna's association, or how far we are from Krishna. If we lament for Krishna, then that is actually lifting us up. So that is the difference between material and spiritual. Then we discussed 6 aspects of surrender, which I won't go into detail. I think all of you know the 6 Shadanga of the surrender process. And then, yeah. And we read how, surrendering, we can go to the holy Dhama and do it, because, that's where, so if you need to, make up with a friend who you spoiled your relationship, what will you do? You'll probably go to his home, right? Go to his home and beg for his mercy and forgiveness. So just like that, we can also go to the holy Dhama where Lord resided and then beg for his mercy. So that is also one aspect of surrendering. So we discussed those things, and then one important point that we covered is, where do we obtain this mood or this divine love that we are looking for? And just like a beggar who doesn't have money goes to a rich person to ask for money, like that, we also have to go to somebody that has this love. So you can't go to Krishna because that is the object. So see, if you need money, you don't go to the money, right? You go to a person who has money. So like that, we have to go to, these pure devotees who have Krishna Prema and then ask for it. So rather than going directly to Krishna, we have to go to the Vaishnavas and beg for their mercy. And then we discussed that how, when you put a crystal next to, say, a flower, the crystal takes the color of the flower. But if you dip a white cloth in saffron color, then it takes the color of that saffron. So like that, we have to be in the company of those that have, this mood of surrender to be able to surrender ourselves. Otherwise, on our own, it is very difficult. So that's where we ended our last class, which was a theoretical aspect of Sharanagati. And then now practical things we'll do a little bit, because why we can't do a lot, because surrender is a very personal affair. So it is not something that we can teach, is what Maharaj is saying. So it is difficult to teach the mood of surrender, and we cannot even force ourselves to surrender, actually, if you see it. So it comes as we progress in bhakti, as we become mature in bhakti. So so Maharaj has a few recommendations he says, to obtain that feeling of surrender, you have, like I said, I've been saying, we have to associate with advanced devotees who are in this mode of surrender. And you don't have to wait for a long time to associate with such people. Even early in your bhakti practice, you can associate with such people. And then another recommendation he makes is to chant, prayers that evoke the mode of surrender. We personally, we may not have that. We may not feel any surrender towards the Lord. Talking about myself, so then we have to somehow get that mood. So usually, when you read Vaishnavacharya's prayers, especially those by Bhaktivinoda Thakura, then you get into that mood. So that is one way of doing. And then simple things we can do of surrender. I think last time we put this slide. So simple things we can do to surrender is small things like, chanting a certain number of rounds. So, we may be chanting 16 now, let us commit to chanting 20 rounds or something. So that is also a form of surrender by telling Krishna that, Krishna, I want to increase my, attention towards you. And then how much ever we are chanting, we have to pay full attention to the nama. So you give a first class reception to that nama. As Srila Prabhupada used to say, just chant and hear yourself chant sincerely. So Srila Prabhupada says all that you have to do is, say with your tongue and hear with your ear. So pay attention to, are we hearing every nama? And then our inner orientation while we are doing this japa should be, Krishna, I give myself to you. Means, I completely want to surrender to you. And then big thing is to avoid the 10 offenses. And then reading prayers by Bhaktivinoda Thakur, like I said. And then making this seva of chanting our priority and putting this in the center of our lives, molding our lives in such a way that, chanting becomes a priority. So like I told last class also, you can't have a day schedule, and then wherever you find time, you're going to do japa. I mean, I did this. But what Maharaj is saying is, make japa your priority in your life and then arrange everything else according to it. So I know sometimes, women have a lot of things in the mornings to do, but somehow it's very individual in each case. But somehow you have to make japa the priority. If 6 o'clock I have to go into the kitchen, means we have to wake up at 4 and do it. So like that. So make it the center, and then rest everything can happen. Personally also I used to do a lot of break in my rounds, like do 6 in the morning, then some in the afternoon, and some in the evening. And I never felt like I was doing good japa at all. So wherever I found time, I used to do it. And now I'm understanding, after reading this book and after, getting the wonderful association of Sakhi Sangha Matajis for our Japa conference, few of us, but we made it a point to, finish in the morning and in one sitting. So seniors recommend, if you can get your 16 rounds in one sitting, nothing like that. And if you can get 16 rounds in the morning before, your day starts and everybody starts getting up, it is, nothing like that. Actually, once you get used to that habit, then, I mean, sometimes, yeah, I have, 4, 5 rounds left. Someday I get up late, or, something else is going on. Then uh, whatever rounds I chant in the evening, I mean, it doesn't even come close to, what I'm doing in the morning. So it just becomes, finishing rounds, like, kind of moving your beats. So we should never also think like, we are finishing our rounds. So that is, I mean, we are very used to saying that. I was also, but I'm learning that, we should never say we are finishing our rounds, because it seems like a chore when we say we want to finish. So we are doing Nama Seva, we are doing Harinama Seva. So let us, give it a huge priority in our lives in such a way that, we should not be peaceful without, finishing them in the morning. And so coming to now exercises, and like I said, it's difficult to teach this mode of surrender, but Maharaj gives a few tips and, practical application of how we can do this. So this, up till now was a revision. Now this is what we're going to do today. Not much time. Then spending on this, then we will go to the chanting with Sankalpa. So one thing you can do is, in your exercises, we can chant with the Sharanagati prayers of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakura. And actually, Maharaj has written one beautiful prayer collection It's called Ki Jani Ki Bale. I won't be able to read the Bengali, but I'll just read the English verses so we understand, what Bhaktivinoda Thakur is talking about as Sharanagati. So, by what personal understanding or by what power has one such as me come into your shelter? Surely it is by your mercy alone. For as the merciful one and the purifier of the fallen, you are ever engaged in the deliverance of the fallen souls. Then he says, my only hope, O Lord, is that you are full of compassion and mercy. There is no one more in need of your mercy than me. You will surely drive away all my fears. No one in the world has the power to rescue me. O merciful Lord, by your decree, kindly deliver this vile and lowly sinner. So we should really, feel very low when we, go in front of the Lord. Recently, 2 days ago, I was hearing to something Radhanath Maharaj was saying. He said, when suppose a lady comes, gets down from a Rolls Royce, wearing a silk sari and lot of jewelry, and a fancy purse, and she's begging for some money, would anybody give her? No, right? Because she's not reflecting that, in her appearance or, her attitude of being a beggar. Whereas if somebody comes in a very, torn, tattered sari, all disheveled, really poor, then, people are more merciful to her and they give the bhiksha to her. So like that, when we go to the Lord, Maharaj said, we can't go as if, we have money or we have, opulence and that we don't need mercy. So we have to leave everything, all the false ego we have, all the prestige we think we have, all the material wealth or assets we may have, everything we should leave and go like, a real beggar. And so that's what he's saying. So no one in the world has power to rescue me. Only, there's no one in more in need of your mercy than me. So that's how we should approach the Lord. Like, I cannot do without your mercy. No one needs, more mercy than you, than I need. So that's how we have to go for the Lord to beg. I mean, this mercy is also, nama japa. So a part of it is, our endeavor we are putting every day in chanting, saying the syllabus correctly, hearing correctly, and everything, or even, trying to put our heart into it. First is your fight with your mind that is happening every day. Beyond that, we have to put our heart into the japa. But after doing all this, also we have to beg for the mercy of the Lord, to descend in our name. Otherwise, it's going to be very, it's just going to be. Actually, when I read this first, it really bothered me because what they're saying is our tongue is material, our ears are material, and holy name is completely spiritual. So with our material senses, we cannot, utter or hear the spiritual sound vibration. We don't have the capacity, and that's why we need Lord's mercy. But yeah, of course, we have to employ that, like Sevon Mukhe Jivvado. So we have to put that tongue in seva of the Lord, and by that seva, so chanting over and over again, you can, obtain the Lord's mercy. And when you obtain the Lord's mercy or Vaishnava's mercy, then the Lord is going to descend. So it is not by our power. So this is a mercy we are going to seek for the Lord. So every day, before japa, be in that consciousness that, on my own, I cannot chant. I need the Lord's mercy. And we have to beg for this, like that beggar with a torn sari. That's how we should beg. So then Bhaktivinoda Thakur is saying, I have given up everything and come to your lotus feet. O Lord, I am your eternal servant and you are the maintainer. You are my sole protector, O Lord of the universe. Everything is yours. I am merely your menial servant. So it is certain that you will deliver me. I have chosen your lotus feet as my shelter. I no longer belong to myself. I no longer belong to myself. Bhaktivinoda weeps. Bhaktivinoda Kandiya Sharane Loye cha tomara paya Shami aparada naame ruchi diya Palana karo he daya. So Bhaktivinoda weeps as he humbly takes shelter at your feet, forgiving all his offenses, affording him a taste for the holy name. Oh, kindly maintain him. So the reason I'm reading it is, we can all make personal prayers to the Lord, definitely, but somehow, we may not be as eloquent as Bhaktivinoda Thakur. So when we read such bhajans and see his mood, little of this may rub to us also, and maybe, at least one sentence of this we may connect, and we may be able to say it to the Lord. So this is just one of the Sharanagati prayers, and Bhaktivinoda Thakur has so many Sharanagati prayers that this mood we can imbibe a little bit. If every morning we read some verses, we read, and Maharaj also says, so you started chanting, and some midway you lose that mood, right? Then it becomes very mechanical, your subsequent rounds. So then pick up some of these verses and read, and then that Sharanagati mood will come back. So that's what he recommends. So that was exercise 1, is reading prayers. Exercise 2 in chanting in Sharanagati is chanting in the holy Dhama. So last time we read, right, like why holy Dham? Because the Lord resided there and it's his home. So if we have to beg the Lord, then it's best to go to the Lord's home and beg. Sri Rupa Goswami says in the Upadeshamrita that the essence of all instructions is to chant the holy name in Vraja while remembering Krishna and his transcendental form, qualities, and eternal pastime. So the best place to chant is Vraja. We know that anything we do multiplies several times because that's where the Lord has done his pastimes. But many of us may not be able to be there in Vraja, so we have to be mentally in Vraja. So every morning, even though we are sitting in our bedroom or terrace or something, we have to be mentally in Vraja. So Maharaj tells us one exercise. So if you all can also do it, it'll be nice. So like last few exercises, everybody please do it. Sit tall with spine erect. So let us also pay attention to the posture, which we started in the first chapter. So aligning the spine and head is important, because in that straight posture, your the prana vayus and all move upwards nicely. And then even medically it is proven that in an erect posture, the oxygenation of the brain is better. So you're more alert and more concentrated and focused you can be. So I request everybody, humble request to do this. So sit tall with spine erect. And then our mind is also in many places. Even though it's morning time, our mind is still in 101 places. So to bring the mind into alignment, to remove all these other thoughts, what we can do is take a nice few deep breaths. So this breathing helps the mind focus, and this practically has worked for me. So take few deep breaths, breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out. Feel that your mind is a little more calmer than when you started. So like that you can do. 1 second, Mataji's. One second. Ma. So yeah, so do that, and when you feel calm and focused, then you can think of a holy place. Best to close your eyes. Think of a holy place that you like. It could be Vrindavana, it could be Mayapur, it could be Govardhan Hill, it could be Radhakunda, could be Kusum Sarovar, any place that you have an attachment. Please think about it in your mind. So visualize that place, or you can think of a Yamuna river. Think of the Yamuna river and feel how the waves flow with the soft breeze. And imagine that there's a beautiful bathing ghata, and you imagine yourself sitting at that ghat. And then think that the other side of the bank there are tall birds like flamingos. The atmosphere is very soothing. Parrots are flying nearby. In a distance, you can hear the temple bells ring along the Yamuna. Then in your heart, feel presence of Krishna, that you're in the land of Krishna. Because Krishna never leaves Vrindavan. He's there. He's always there. Then in the shining land of Sri Vrindavana, in a temple compound made of jewels, Sri Radha Govinda seated on an effulgent throne beneath the Kalpavruksha tree, accepting service from their beloved gopis. So you meditate. So imagine mind is also beautiful in the sense, yeah, it is bad, but it is good in that, you can think of this. In 1 minute, I am by the banks of Yamuna. So you don't need the paraphernalia. So you get a beautiful throne filled with gems, Shri Radha Govinda, you can set it at the bank of Yamuna, and then you imagine, how gopis are serving him. So you meditate on this. You meditate on the divine couple with all the gopis serving at the banks of Yamuna. Now, after, getting this mental image where you are in Vraja mentally, so Manas Puja you were doing, and then now you remember in your heart that, you surrender to Krishna, and that, you belong to him and Krishna belongs to you. And then this inner place, you have arrived at this inner place, and then remembering this, this image and this feeling, that Krishna and Radha Krishna are next to you, then you chant. So it really improves your quality of chanting. Then you're putting your heart, so it doesn't become mechanical anymore. You're chanting with feeling. So that chanting with feeling comes with this. Yes, anybody did? Anybody felt? Anybody went to Yamuna Vraja and came back? Mataji's?
Yes, Maraji.
You're all there, no? Somehow with my screen, I'm not seeing you. Okay.
Mataji,
Yes.
you took us long away, Mataji, and now you are calling us back.
I'm sorry. Can I leave you all in Raja and go?
Yeah, it's so
Very true.
soothing, Mataji.
Even I don't feel like coming back actually. But what to do? What to do?
I know.
Mataji,
Thank you
now
so
when
much
you
for
are
this
doing this,
experience.
no, I'm able to do, but in the morning, I think of it, but then very soon mind get distracted, Mataji.
Yeah, I'm again getting into a daily chores,
Now when you're
Mataji.
saying, na, I
Yeah.
really went,
True,
the
true.
place
Because
where
we
I live.
forget, we always want to, I think, finish our rounds has become somehow our target. So actually, in between each round, if we do something like this, when you read one Bhakti Thakur verse, it is so nice. I tell you all, I do sometimes, but not happening consistently. I think after that 108 malas itself focusing for us is so difficult. After every round, we should spend another additional 2 minutes. I'm thinking, but it's not happening for me also. So yeah, we should. That's what lastly Maharaj says, Sankalpa. You should have Sankalpa of doing this. So let us talk about that in a little bit. So now exercise 3, Maharaj says, yeah, do everything to give up 10 offenses. There's a whole, couple pages about offenses. I'm not going to go into this because it's whole another chapter. We all know the 10 offenses. I mean, we know theoretically, but I don't think we're applying. But Maharaj says, this is like a fever of offenses. When we do your offenses, then, the whole thing gets ruined. All this feeling we are trying to imbibe. So each of us should stop and introspect and see, are we making any offenses? That is again, very personal. Are we making any offenses? And I just read one passage by Srila Prabhupada. He says, while chanting the holy name of the Lord, one should be careful to avoid 10 offenses. From Sanat Kumara, it is understood that even if a person is a severe offender in many ways, he is freed from offensive life if he takes shelter of the Lord's holy name. Indeed, even if a human being is no better than a two-legged animal, he will be liberated if he takes shelter of the holy name of the Lord. One should therefore be very careful not to commit offenses at the lotus feet of the Lord's holy name. So what they're trying to say is holy name is so forgiving that all your sins it can forgive. Even they say if you commit an offense towards the Lord, that also the holy name can forgive you. But if you make an offense to the holy name, then what else is there to, because it is highest. So it is, so what else is there to approach? If you offend the holy name, you have to again, chant, chant with a lot of remorse. So that's why it's best to be very careful not to do any offenses. And the top two most dangerous ones are offending the devotees. Again, Vaishnava Aparadh, no Vaishnava Aparadh. I mean, please be very careful, because all the years of japa we did, all the years of bhakti we did is going to go waste if you're doing any Vaishnava Aparadh. And if you have done it, please go and seek forgiveness. This I've understood. There should not be any person that that you have a feud with, or you have a kya bolte hain, angst with, or you're angry with, you're not talking with. Should be nobody. Doesn't matter if it's in the devotee circle or even your relative circle, because end of life, do you want that thought to come like, अरे मैंने इससे बात नहीं किया, और मैंने इससे, I didn't settle the account with him. Because even, medically, when you go to hospice centers, the most, people who are dying, if you talk to them, they say that regret is the one common thing, very common among 90% of people said, I wish, I didn't have this regret at the end of life. So, so no regrets. We should not have any regrets that, we offended this person, we didn't talk to this person, we were angry with this person, nothing like that. So it doesn't matter if it is relative, no relative. Please go and seek forgiveness. Actually, I was also very inspired by, His Grace Anandavindana Prabhu was telling on the day that we did, Sri Haridas Thakur disappearance day, that, if we are chanting, then our consciousness should change. And if our consciousness is changing, we should be in a position to go to that, person and seek forgiveness. Otherwise, what is all this japa useful for if we are not changing our consciousness? So this we should not have. So that is one great offense. And the second dangerous offense is committing sins on the strength of chanting. So because we know chanting will take away sins, committing sins because we are chanting is again a very, very big offense, because you're like taking the Lord for granted. Because he's forgiving your sins, you're going and doing sins again. So that is like a big disrespect for the Lord, and that is not tolerated. So the Padma Purana is very warns that the holy name cannot pardon criticism of those who spread the name. So Vaishnava Aparadh. So they are spreading the holy name. So holy name cannot pardon criticism of those who spread the holy name. Even the servants of Yamaraja, the god of death, cannot purify a person who commits sins on the strength of chanting. So this is a very big offense. Some other day, if you all want, I can go through the offenses, but that's it for now. Then the fourth exercise he recommends is some beautiful verses. Just like, we did Bhakti Vinod Thakura prayers, we can do some beautiful verses, meditate on them to get into this mood of surrender. And the important one is from Bhagavatam 6.11.26. I really love this verse. It says, Ajata Paksha Iva Mataram Khaga Stanyam Yatha Vatsatara Kshudattaha. Priyam Priyeva Vyushitam Vishanna Manoravindaksha Didikshite Tvam. So, this is, I think, from Vritrasura prayers. He's saying, "Oh Lotus-eyed Lord, as the baby birds, you see in the nest there'll be baby birds always waiting with their mouths open, just like showing in the picture. When they're hungry, they're waiting for they're so dependent on the mother that without the mother they cannot feed. So they are waiting with open mouths for the mother to come back. So, so eager they are for the mother to come back. So just like that, and then just like Moro's husband, suppose somebody's husband, a newlywed couple is there, and husband is away from home for many days, how that wife longs for him to return. Like that, we should always yearn for an opportunity to serve the Lord. So that should be our yearning, like, waiting for a mother who's going to come and feed you, or waiting for your, husband who's away. So that should be our yearning. So this beautiful verse also helps us do this. And then one more verse from Namashtaka. This is from Namashtaka. Beautiful verses, all about Harinama. I couldn't put everything, but verse 1 says, "O Harinama, the tips of the toes of your lotus feet are constantly being worshipped by the glowing radiance emanating from string of gems known as Upanishads, the crown jewels of all Vedas. You are eternally adored by liberated souls such as Narada and Sukadeva. O Harinama, I take complete shelter of you." So this verse also proves that Harinama is a personality. So it is not it is a he. So it is non-different from Krishna. So Harinama's lotus feet is being worshipped by who? By the Upanishads, the gems that come from Upanishads, all the Vedas, and great personalities like Narada, Sukadeva, Brahmaji. Everybody is taking shelter of the lotus feet of Harinama. So this should be our mood when we are also chanting the Harinama. So these are some of the practical ways to surrender, to take Sharanagati. Then, do we have time? Actually, now is the next topic, which is chanting in Sankalpa. And unfortunately, my laptop is dying. Let me see how much I can do. And the plugs here are a different way. I'm not able to insert my plug. So let us see. So here in Sankalpa, so this is like the last chapter of the book. In Sankalpa, Maharaj is saying that, chanting is our foundation, right? We all understood that chanting is a foundation. So how deep, your foundation should be for your building to stand nicely. So when your foundation is deep, there's no reason to fear the wind. Or same thing, if your roots are deep, like for a big tree where the roots are deep, it does not have to worry about the wind. So just like that, our foundation for spiritual life is chanting. So it should have a very deep foundation. So in Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, in this material world that we are living, there is only two things I should not say, there is only two living entities. One is our individual soul, the Jivatma, and the second is the holy name. So he says only these two are living, rest is all dead matter. So somehow we have to make these two meet. So we have to make our soul meet the holy name. So all these previous chapters that I discussed, Sharanagati, Sambandha, Seva, all these are giving us the mood and attitude that, we have to have while chanting. But this chapter, Sankalpa, will tell you, the process, like how we should take Sankalpa and do this japa. So they used a beautiful analogy. Maharaj uses a beautiful analogy about a bow and an arrow. So in Mundak Upanishad, it says, Pranavo Dhanusaro Yatma Brahma Tal Laksham Uchyate Apramattena Vedavyam Saravat Tanmayo Bhavet. So in this, what they're saying is the Pranava or the Omkara mantra is like the bow, and the self, the Atma is like the arrow. And what is the target? The Supreme Person is the target. So a soul should make himself like an arrow. So what they're saying is the target is when we do bow and arrow, there's a target. So that target for us is the Supreme Lord, and the bow is actually our mantra. So the Hare, because you need a bow to shoot the arrow towards the target, right? So arrow is us, our Atma is the arrow, and we are using a bow to shoot the arrow towards the Lord. So the bow is Harinama Mahamantra. So this Mahamantra is allowing us to shoot our arrows towards our target, which is the Lord. So so what they say is, they, of course, Upanishad, they use the word pranava, chanting of pranava, but for us we are using the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So with the help of that Hare Krishna Mahamantra, we are the arrows and we have to go towards the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So mantra is the bow. And, even when, just like, suddenly you can shoot an arrow, sometimes, when we are very absorbed in chanting and kirtana, then suddenly this spiritual, somebody is unmuted. So suddenly we feel the spiritual clarity and we can get transported, just like the arrow gets transported to, a far off place, we can also get transported to divine presence of Krishna when we use the mantra as the bow. So, and again, just like, Maharaj says, archery is not easy, right? It needs a lot of practice. So even we have to practice, chanting properly. And the most important would be absolutely, fixing the mind. So in archery, what is important? The target, right? Like we know the example from Arjuna, where he's, focusing on the eye of the bird. He's not focusing on the bird. He's not focusing on the tree. He's not focusing on his friends, anything. So your single pointed focus should be the target. So like that, for us also, what is the target? Target is the Lord. So absolutely, we have to fix our mind on the target. And then some movements, like in archery, you have to be in harmony. Your movements should be in harmony with the breath, and you have to stay calm. So all that we have to do. So staying calm, using breathing to stay calm, your yojana, sitting properly and everything. But the most important, our laksha is the Lord. So all these we have to do just like we do for any archery. So, and just like for archery, we have to perfect the art, right? We have to practice. So chanting also is like an art, he says, and so you have to perfect it. So you have to keep on chanting. And what do we have? We have the bow, right? We have the bow, which is like the mantra. So we have a way to release our arrow to reach the target, which is the lotus feet of Sri Radha and Krishna. So this is how analogy he gives. And so how do you do, in archery? First, you take aim. So there are three main practices. So you take aim with your arrow. So like that, we have to, so you look at the target, right? When you're focusing on where to send your arrow, you're focusing on your target. So with your mind's eye, you understand that your goal is Krishna, right? The purpose of your arrow is that it has to reach Krishna. That is the goal. So every morning when we sit for japa, you understand that, my goal is Krishna. This is my 2 hours to connect with Krishna. This is my time with Krishna. Actually, I was hearing one Mataji, Urmila Mataji, I think she said, like, her husband and she, both are devotees and they're all day serving in the temple or here and there. And they don't have any, specific time set aside for them. So what they decided, like in the night from 9 to 10 or something, 8 to 9, she said that 1 hour they both spend together. And they are not chanting at that time. They're not offering bhoga. They're not doing any spiritual activities, just for them to connect with each other. So just like that, Mataji was saying, even though in a day we could be involved in, bhoga, cooking bhoga, or, offering deity worship, distributing books. So all those are service to the Lord. But that is time for Krishna we are taking. But japa is like your time with Krishna. So just like the husband and wife took 1 hour for themselves, like that, we have to take time with Krishna. So this japa time is our time with Krishna. Rest of the activities what we do is for Krishna. I'm hope you're making understanding that difference. So our sevas are a time for Krishna and Krishna consciousness, but japa is our time with Krishna. So you have to understand that this is my goal. So in order to meet my goal, I have to set this time with Krishna. You can think it of as a date with Krishna, something like that. And then you have to be very mindful. So this mindless chanting of looking here, looking there, cooking, cleaning, all this japa or driving japa, all this, we have to, throw out. I mean, I've done all this nonsense for many years of my life, but be mindful, sit in one place. You have to call out, it is no longer, something we just get done, something we want to finish. So japa is, beyond that. So being mindful. We have to call out, we have to attract his attention. Sometimes I feel, everybody is chanting in the morning, like thousands of people are chanting, and how desperately you have to call out, for Krishna to look at you. He has so many other people to look at. So that's how I always feel. I'm like, Krishna, why will Krishna even look at me when so many are chanting so beautifully, I think. So like that. So you have to somehow, attract his attention. So be very mindful. So just like, the example also they gave, like when a child is calling the mother, I believe the mother will sense the urgency in the sound and decide to go. Suppose she's very busy cooking and the son calls. Based on how that sound is, is there an urgency? Is he hurt? In that sound, she recognizes and she goes. Suppose that child only, calls like, without much urgency, and then he's still playing. Then, the mother is not obliged to go. She knows that, ye theek hai, aise bula raha mere ko. So like that, our call, our japa should not be like that. Our japa should be very urgent. Our japa should be, like a mother drops everything and runs to the baby. Our japa should be like that. I'm just telling you, I don't even know if I can achieve this in my lifetime. But yeah, that's how, we for theory, we all say, Kina, it should be like a call of the child, but I don't know when I'll be able to do that. Then second one, among the practices, after you look at the aim with the bow, what do? You pull the string back, with a lot of energy, you pull your string back, so that the more you pull the string, the better the arrow can be aimed at. So this is our effort. So you have to put an effort. We have to focus the mind on the target. We have to align the body, mind, like I said, sit properly, do your breathing exercise, remove all other thoughts from your mind. In your heart, you read your prayers or verses, and then feel that, that your dependency on the Lord. So all this you have to do to chant with the right attitude and bring your best efforts. And then, of course, all this you have to do with avoiding offenses. And Srila Prabhupada says these offenses come out of inattentive chanting. So when you're doing attentive chanting, automatically you're decreasing your offenses. When you're doing an inattentive chanting, of course, inattentive chanting itself is offense number 10. So that becomes, you're doing nama brothers. So Srila Prabhupada makes it very simple. He says you have to chant with your tongue and hear the sound. That's all. Where is the question of mind? Srila Prabhupada also says, where is the question of your mind? You just chant with your tongue and hear the sound. So hear every mantra. Where is the question of your mind? And many places he's also said, just try to listen to yourself chant sincerely. Sincerely means you have to listen to every mantra, say every mantra and listen to yourself. And listening to yourself is important. So even if you have Prabhupada's tape, if you are quiet, that is not correct actually. Some people have done this. They are hearing Prabhupada's sound, but they are not making a sound, although they are doing inside. That's not correct. The authorities say that you have to hear yourself chanting. In fact, Prabhupada says you have to listen to yourself chant. Okay, then the third practice they say, and then what do? You let the arrow go. After you let the arrow go, what do? Is anything in your hands? It is not there, right? You put your effort, you let the arrow go. So like that, you're doing your japa with surrender. And after that, that means you've done your best, you've given your best japa, and then the rest is up to Krishna, right? Just like any work we do, and we give it up to Krishna. So after doing our best practice for japa, we release the arrow. And whether it reaches the target or not, we do not know, right? The arrow is already out of our hands. There's nothing else you can do about it. So whether it invokes the mercy of the Lord or not is not in our hands. So, but we just chant our best and pray for Krishna's mercy. And our own endeavor, that's why, is not enough. Whether it reaches the target or not, that requires Krishna's mercy also. So in Harinama Chintamani, Srila Das Thakur says, one must make an effort and then with an earnest heart, one should beg for mercy. So both, I have understood that, it needs both. So like effort and mercy, the 2 inches in Damodar Lila will read. So your effort at how you're chanting and then invoke the mercy. So begging for mercy is a part of japa. That's what I'm learning. Because otherwise, kya hai, utho, baith ke beats, hatao, aisa tha. So that mercy is necessary. So do whatever, whatever prayer you want to say to the Lord to beg for his mercy, you do it. And again, beautiful Shanagati prayer. So it should be in a very dainya bhav. Ebe shuno prabhu ami gati hina bhakti vinoda koya tava kripa bina sakali nirasha deho more padashraya. So Bhakti Vinod Thakur is saying, now please hear me, O Lord. I am utterly helpless. Bhakti Vinoda says, without your mercy, everything is lost. Please give me shelter of your lotus feet. So we beg like Bhakti Vinod Thakur. If we can't do our own words, read these words every day to Krishna. So, and then just like, archery, we keep trying and trying again. We have to keep trying and trying again and getting better with our japa. Only thing, the advantage we have is, see, when in a bow and arrow, your arrows in the quiver will get over. Like you may have 10, 12 arrows, you've shot them and that's it done. But for us, mercifully, fortunately, our arrows never run out, right? Because what is our arrow? What is our arrow?
Japa. Harinama.
Mantra, Hare Krishna mantra.
Bow is the bow is the mantra. Mantra is the bow. What is the this thing?
Chanting. Bow
Arrow
is the Guru Namah.
But then we have, right? We have, means we can do many times. There's no, it'll never get old. So each mantra, can you all mute, please? So each mantra is a new opportunity to do our best, right? And we have unlimited. So we can do unlimited number of mantras. And each mantra will bring us closer to the Supreme Lord and His divine energy, Srimati Radharani. So we have unlimited mercy in the form of, names. You take, you do 64 rounds, nobody's stopping you. You do 100 rounds, nobody's stopping you. So we have an unlimited access to these bow and arrows. So unlimited opportunity, unlimited prospects, and unlimited revelations we can have. And then Maharaj says chanting will really reveal everything in due course. So we should just keep on doing it and it'll reveal everything. And it'll grant you the mature fruit of chanting. So what is the mature fruit of chanting? That is love of, Krishna Prema. So what Shastra says and what Maharaj says is, as we chant, the holy name will reveal, everything there is to it. And the ultimate mystery that the holy name will reveal, the ultimate secret that the holy name will reveal is that the holy name is absolutely identical to Sri Radha Krishna. So Acharya say that, holy names will reveal, Radha Krishna's pastimes just by chanting. You can be, for real. I mean, now we are imagining to be in Vraja, but it can, put you in the pastimes of Sri Radha and Krishna. So that is the mature fruit of love to get. We have to do all this. Then it's like, for us, the holy name is like, a beggar finding a jewel. So, so this picture I just got, but this is like, some Vaishnava, giving us the jewel, the Chintamani. So, so many places, again, Maharaj quotes these two from Bhagavad Gita, that how, Krishna says, take shelter of me, whether you're lower birth, woman, Vaishya, Shudra, whoever, you can take shelter of me and attain the supreme destination. And then just like a beggar has found a jewel, we also have found this jewel, which is Chintamani, because holy name also bestows all treasures on you. So we have to use this. We have to use this Chintamani. So we know all this in theory, But then, we have this old habit of same, not focusing, inattentive japa, offenses during japa, all this. So why? Because old habits die hard, right? We are very stubborn. We are very stubborn people. So, and we have fallen into this bad habit of bad chanting. So it's die hard, but there is hope. So, what is that hope is by taking Sankalpa. So, Sankalpa means a determined effort we should make. Just like, Ajamila had a second chance, right? First time, the somehow, because he said Narayana, the Vishnu Dutas sent away the Yamadutas. And then after he hears the conversation between the Yamadutas and Vishnu Dutas, then he gets, back on track. So then the rest of his life he spends doing devotional service, and then he goes back home, back to Vaikunta. So like that, even though old habits, we have bad habits, it is possible when we do Sankalpa. So what is Sankalpa? Sankalpa is a new intention, a solemn vow formed in the heart and mind to improve spiritual practices with determination. So we should all reflect on our own practices first, to make this sankalpa. In which way do I want to improve my chanting? So all of us, all of you, please write down, how do I want to improve my chanting? Means, either the number, the quality, or the mood, or the time of the day, something. So how do I want to improve my chanting? Then what would my practice be like if I don't do anything about this? So right now I'm doing my chanting in a certain way. If I don't improve, then what will it be? Like, means what is it now? If I don't improve, I'll be here only. Then what steps do I need to take? So where are we now? Where do we want to go in japa? And what steps do I take? Like, now I'm in the 10th class. Okay, I want to do medicine. So what do I have to do? I have to pass the 10th and 11th and 12th in biology sciences. Then I have to do the NEET exam. Then I have to apply. So all those steps. So like that, I want to be here in my chanting. So what steps do I take? And then what do I seek to gain from working on this goal? So if I work on this goal, what is in it for me? Okay. So last slide, my laptop is dying, but I'll connect my phone in a bit. But just see this slide. Maybe somebody can take a screenshot or something. So this verse says, यथा संकल्पयेत् बुद्ध्या यत्वा व मत् परपुमान् मयि सत्ये मनोयुञ्जं तथा तत् समुपाश्नुते. So a yogi who has faith in me, absorbing his mind in me and knowing that my purpose is always fulfilled, will always achieve his purpose by the very means he has determined to follow. I'm sorry for rushing because of my power. So in this, they are saying, Lord Krishna is actually the Satya Sankalpa. So when we take Sankalpa, Krishna is Satya Sankalpa. So his desire, his intention, purpose always come to a pass, right? So whatever Krishna thinks will happen. And the holy name is also Chintamani, so it can fulfill our desires. So we have the holy name, and if we have Sankalpa, then Krishna will help us. So Sankalpa derives its strength from Krishna. So we can depend on Krishna's Sankalpa to do our Sankalpa. And Sri Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur always says, we should have the Sankalpa or determination to revive our lost relationship. So we have lost our relationship. We are so far out in the material world, and if we are comfortable here, then there's no hope for us. So we want to establish, reconnect that lost relationship by the infallible means of devotion service. So we have to make this sankalpa. Krishna will give you that satya sankalpa. He'll yeah, and then we have the holy name, which is Chintamani. So we have the bow, we have the arrow. What is necessary is only sankalpa. And then the sankalpa, why we should have? Because we have to understand that we want to revive this relationship. So if you're determined to revive this relationship, then they're saying we have all the gadgets necessary, right? And if we make a strong determination, then Krishna will help us. So Krishna is actually Satya Sankalpa. So he will help us in this Sankalpa because we are trying to go to him. So none of this will fail actually if we pay attention. So we have to have this Sankalpa. Sorry, is what they're saying. Mata, just give me 1 minute. I'll connect to my phone. Actually, the slides are over.
Hare Krishna. Giteshwari Mataji, you are the host now. Okay.
They're recording. Okay. Maybe we can stop recording. Yeah. So the Sankalpa exercise, I'll just take another 10 minutes. Am I audible, Matajis?
Yes.
Yeah. So Sankalpa exercise 1 is saying, take a moment to think clearly about what you wish your best chanting to be like. Perhaps you wish to chant with absolute absorption, or at least with more focus, or more connected to Krishna. Try to discover your own answer. So each of us have to make this effort to do this. And personal answer we should write down. And then, so you'll feel great excitement and joy in your heart. You'll feel that to reach this goal will unlock the life you truly want to live. So whatever goals we are writing, they're all very exciting because we're all moving towards the Lord. Then he says, reflect on your chanting at the present moment. So do some introspection. For all of us, this is again personal. Are you inspired when you chant? Are you all inspired when you chant, or is it like, "Arey baap re, aaj karna hai mere ko"? ऐसा है, or are you excited to chant? Honest answers.
Sometimes,
Somebody can.
sometimes no.
Sometimes. Anybody else?
Hare Krishna Mataji, morning we can do now. Afternoon we can't do.
No, are you excited, inspired to chant, or is it a burden?
Morning.
Yes. Yes. Okay, good. So like that, and then do you give priority to your chanting? Each of us have to understand or write down, are we giving priority to chanting? Then does your chanting tend to be mechanical or is it enlivened? This is a problem, I think, with a lot of us. Is it mechanical or is it full of life? And that's why Maharaj calls this book the living name. Okay, so the name is living. It's not mechanical. Then are there habits you want to give up or new ones you want to adopt? So we may be having, some bad habits, like I was saying, old habits die hard. So we have formed some habits, so we want to give up, or we have to adopt some new habits. So try to be honest and clear as possible, and write this. He's saying write and reflect on this. Then third step is saying, now brainstorm a specific, practical, feasible step you could take to help you advance on your journey to your best japa. It may be an aspect of yojana or sambandha, seva, vipralamba, sharanagati. So all the 5 aspects we read, it could be in one. So write down at least, we can write a few of them, but some practical step that each of us can take to improve our japa, which could be yojana means, from today on, I'm going to sit straight in a chair or, on the floor. Because sometimes we are in a rocking chair, we are on the bed. So as simple as that also will help. Like from today, I'm going to sit on the floor and do my rounds, or I'm going to sit erect in a straight back chair and do my rounds. Or do you want to improve? I'm going to do this breathing exercise that will help me calm my mind. Or I'm going to read a verse after every, every 4 rounds, something like that. So individually, now from all these, 5 chapters that we read, please write down one specific, practical, feasible step. Again, it should be feasible. Don't say, today I'm chanting 16, from tomorrow I'll chant 64. Not going to happen. So a very practical, very feasible steps that, that is taking into account our lifestyle. Please do that. And then he says, identify one new practice only and not several. You can list several options, but choose to adopt just one at a time. Often people set their minds on too many new practices and end up doing none due to limited capacity. So write down one clear aim. This is very good. So you may have a list of 3 or 4 things that you're writing that you want to do in your japa, but take one at a time. For example, Maharaj is so sweet. He's giving some examples. One example, I will read songs and prayers that glorify chanting. That can be easily done. Then whenever I catch my mind wandering off, I will bring it back to the holy name. This we all know, but how much are we doing? We have to pay attention. Then I will give priority to my chanting by waking up early to chant at least, so many number of rounds. So some may not be able to finish all 16, but at least, 12 rounds I'm going to finish before 6 o'clock. I'm going to finish all my rounds before breakfast, something like that. Then I will nourish my chanting by applying so and so, one of the tools presented in this book. So everybody individually can write down. Then Maharaj says, go before your altar or to your spiritual master and humbly reveal to them your situation. Tell them where your chanting is at present, then express how you wish your chanting could be and finally present your intended practical steps to arrive at your aspirations. So do this, write it on a piece of paper, take it to the altar or take it to a spiritual master and put it there. And then heart filled with sincerity and determination, pray they bless your Sankalpa and practice to increase your spiritual strength. So this is Sankalpa we have to take, a simple one. Like what did Maharaj say? Yeah, I'm going to read, Vaishnava prayer every day, maybe 2 verses a day. So I'm going to write it down and present it to my spiritual master. So then it becomes Sankalpa, right? See, sometimes for Sankalpa also, if you take a Sankalpa and then not follow through, that is not having any integrity. And if we do it before the altar or, in front of our spiritual master, the tendency is that, we will keep that up, right? Like just like we took vows before our spiritual master that we will do 16 rounds minimum, and we are keeping it up because we took this vow. Like that, we will take some more vows again. And then ask for his blessings, your spiritual master's blessings. Then, yeah. So he's saying do this, individual steps you should take. Then after that you have gathered the inspiration you need and have requested the Lord for his blessings, it's time to act. So you put your goal, Sankalpa, you offer it to the Lord, your blessings.
Mataji, we are not able to hear you.
We lost connection with Mataji or what?
Yeah, Mataji, I'm back. Yeah. So almost done. So after you do the Sankalpa and offer it to the Lord, it's time to act, because without action, it is only wishful thinking. So you have to put it into practice. And he recommends some steps to put it into action. So write down your Sankalpa and display it so you can see it and read it daily. This is a good idea. So whatever you wrote, you put it in a place where you can see. Then execute this new practice regularly over, say, 1 month. Then after this period, you review, and then you can either increase or decrease. Suppose you're not able to meet it, then you can decrease a little bit. If you're able to meet it, you can increase a little bit. So reassess after 1 month. Then set aside a realistic window of time for practice. So see how much time you want to give this. Suppose you want to increase your rounds by X number, give it a realistic period of time. Then make any appropriate arrangements that facilitate and favor your new practice. For example, you're not able to get up in the morning, you ask somebody to call you to make you wake up, something like that. So you make appropriate arrangements. Or if your servant is coming too early, ask her to come a little late so that you can finish your japa, some things like that. Then surround yourself with the right people who already have similar goals as you. Expose yourself to the influence of those people who have mindset you aspire for. Very, very, very important. So you surround yourself by the people who have similar goals, or you're aspiring to become like, so and so. Then you take that association of that Mataji so that, she inspires you to have similar goals. Yeah, I have somebody that has inspired me, but she won't like it if I mention her name, so I won't. Then affirm your Sankalpa to yourself regularly by remembering and reflecting upon it. So regularly you remember and reflect your Sankalpa. And then it's good to discuss with a trusted friend for encouragement and support. And the inner resolve for all this Sankalpa exercise should be like, I want to change. So I want to change is what you have to be determined. You want to change so that, you establish this connection with the Lord. Then, I'm going to work hard at it. So that is the Sankalpa we have to make. And Maharaj is saying small steps at a time, very practical steps is shown us actually. So if you all can, do this, please write down what is your current chanting like. It's just between you and Krishna, and where you want to be in how much time. Like say, in 3 months, I want to be here. Then you write down 1 to 3 steps that you're going to take to be there. See, because we do all this for, mundane things, right? Like I was giving an example of getting into medicine or getting into engineering. We do all that. But when it comes to chanting, which we know is the foundation of our spiritual life, we are not doing it. So let us all please take this seriously and do what Maharaj is recommending. Talking to myself, I need to do this also. I will also take a paper and write down. So thank you very much for giving this opportunity. One disclaimer is that, I'm because I'm taking these sessions doesn't mean I am anywhere, close to what Maharaj is telling. So this book is really, really for me, for my revision. And you all are giving me an opportunity to tell this to myself again and again. So my humblest obeisances to all your lotus feet, Matajis. Thank you very much for giving this opportunity. I think we are at the end of the book. Thank you so much. I'm so grateful to all of you. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhyeva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. And please forgive me if there are any mistakes, purely my fault. And if there's anything that you learned, it's completely mercy of Guru Janas, especially His Holiness Sachidanand Swami. His Holiness Sachidanand Swami ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Mataji, can you please share that in the group? The last, the Sankalpa that,
The ones I read.
yeah, the ones you read.
That page I'll share. That page I'll share. I didn't make a PowerPoint. I didn't have time. But I
Yeah,
share
if
that
you can
page.
just put it, the points.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Any questions? Anybody? Hare Krishna.
Mataji, Hare Krishna, Mataji, Dandavat Pranams. Thank you for taking us through how important is the japa and how we have to do and how we were doing. And for me, though it's a long journey, but it's a hope-giving one, because as you said, we can make a sankalpa and a baby step. Maybe we would go ahead. And you said we have to reassess every month. So that is so very hope-giving. So yes, we can go from to red to orange to green. So one day will come that our chanting will be really optimal, where really, as you said, in those means millions who are chanting, will Krishna hear my chanting? So there is a hope given that yes, one day that chanting would come to that level where Krishna at least will have a little glance on me also. So thank you so very much, Mataji, for your wonderful class, Mataji. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji, for joining. Thank you so much. Yeah, if it helps, one person also, improve the quality of chanting, I would think, this is, worth it. And myself, of course, myself first. Then if it helps others, it's wonderful.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you so much. So many words we learned, Mataji, today. So much absorption. We have to do. So much improvement we have to do. ఎక్కడ వెలితి ఉందో తెలిసిపోయింది మాతాజీ ఈ క్లాస్ లో ఇంకా చాలా
again, any of you who are chanting alone, I don't know, but for us, chanting in a group has helped immensely. So please, find association to chant. It has really regularized our chanting, at least on the Sati Sangha Japa group. If anybody wants to join, you're most welcome, or you all have your own groups or something, please take association. Because bhakti has to be done in association only. Any other questions, Matajis?
Thank you so much, Mataji.
Thank you, Mataji. Should we end it here?
Yes, Mataji.
I'm ending, Matajis.
Yes, Mataji.
Thank you so much. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhyeva patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. His Holiness Sachidanand Swami ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Pranam. Thank you so very much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.